Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Anil Taylor. I'm a consultant gynecologist and I practice in the UK. In this video, I want to talk about the differences between what we mean by the premenopause, the postmenopause, and the perimenopause. So to understand these terms, of course, we need to understand what the menopause means. And in medicine, we define menopause quite specifically, and it is an event following which a woman does not experience any monthly periods for a consecutive 12-month period. So therefore, if you think about this, it is a retrospective thing, meaning a woman will not know that she is menopausal until 12 months have elapsed since her last period. And if, say, 6 months down the line, a period does appear, then of course the clock has to be reset and you have to start counting another 12 months from that point. So that's how menopause is defined. And as I said, it is therefore a retrospective diagnosis. So in terms of menopause, how do we understand the other three terms? To understand that, let us look at a timeline in a woman's life. So birth will occur and then at about 10, 11 years of age, the first period will appear, and that we call the menarche. And in the average female, menopause will occur around 50, 51 or thereabouts. And so the premenopause is the time period between the menarche and the menopause. And that, of course, is relatively easy to understand. The postmenopause, of course, is also relatively easy to understand, and that is the time that follows after the menopause has occurred. So therefore, what is the perimenopause? The perimenopause, now there will be some women who will start experiencing erratic periods and perhaps some menopausal symptoms like hot flushes, and these will start occurring a few years perhaps before the actual menopause happens. And the perimenopause is that time period between those symptoms starting to occur and the actual menopause happening. And so that is the perimenopause. Now, in medicine, we also have a different term for the perimenopause. We would call it the climacteric. So that is the other name for perimenopause. Now, the other way to look at these terms is also to see what happens to a woman's, the number of eggs that a woman has. Now, again, let's look at a timeline. And of course, birth will occur at that point. But let's actually now go back to, say, when the female was, say, about 4 or 5 months as a fetus. So we are going back in time. So the female is in utero, in her mother's uterus, of course. Now, at that point, meaning midway through the pregnancy, the developing fetus, the female fetus, had approximately 7 million eggs at that time. And by the time birth occurs, the vast majority of those eggs have actually died. So they've now whittled down to 1 to 2 million eggs. And so this has happened whilst the baby is still in utero. And this wastage of eggs continues to happen such that by menarche, only about 10% of the eggs that the female was born with. Only about 10% of the eggs are now remaining. So now she only has about 200,000 eggs. And after that, of course, she will be ovulating, but generally speaking, most women will ovulate one egg per month. Yet, out of those 200,000 eggs, by the time they reach the menopause, at that point, there will be no eggs left. And so, clearly what is happening is that there is a natural wastage of the eggs. And the other thing to remember is that a woman is born with all the eggs that she will ever have through that lifetime. And that is slightly different to what occurs in males. In males, the sperms can be created throughout the lifetime of the male. Whereas in a female, the eggs, once they have been created halfway through the pregnancy as a fetus, that's it. No more eggs are created, and actually most of them are then wasted. So, why is it important to look at eggs? The reason for looking at eggs is that during the premenopause, it is the eggs that make the majority of the female hormones, the estrogen and the progesterone. So, following the menopause, when the eggs have disappeared, these hormones, the estrogen and the progesterone, become low, and that has the consequences of all the symptoms that follow, the hot flushes, the night sweats, and the joint aches, and all those sort of things. So that is why it is important to understand what is happening to the eggs in the ovaries. That is all I want to say in this video. Thank you for watching this. My next video that I'm going to be uploading is on a subject of postmenopausal bleeding and why women should not be ignoring it. So please join me in my next video. If you find these videos helpful, then please consider subscribing or at least clicking the like button. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next video.